Good evening, everybody.
Hey again.
Good
We're
evening.
back. Dr. Stedman, if you want to Zoom tomorrow, I've got a 11:30. We're doing interviews on campus again. I think I'll be done about 1.
Okay, yeah, I'll send you
Send me a link.
and just let me know when.
Yeah.
And then I just talked to Steve. Steve wants to Zoom with me as well because there's some things he wants to know about 601 and some stuff for that.
Okay.
So we're moving forward. So
We
I
should
think
be, it may be 1:30 before we
okay.
get done.
Okay, that'll be good.
We do an
And then
hour, and then I'm sure they'll back lunch up against that for another hour, and we have to walk over and act like we're actually excited to walk to the lunchroom.
yeah.
How does it-
Wow. I actually clicked on some of I went into that show and looked at Ultra, and I think I can figure a lot of this stuff out on
Yeah,
my own. It doesn't look. It's just in a different format, but it
well,
looks a lot of the same stuff, but just in a different
yeah.
format.
Well, the trick is not to have everything up so they have to scroll. Have it where there's a lot of modules, content modules. So if they don't need anything like for the OMA, if they don't need anything for it, they shouldn't have to scroll through the set because there's probably 12 or 15
Right.
boxes in it. So,
Right. So
it's
those
just
are things that
Because they just talking. They country, as you can hear.
if you can show me, just
The
take me through
OMA.
the beginning, like module one. The rest of it, the other modules I can
I love
figure
that
out
for
if
you.
we can
I
just
want to
go
hear
through
more
module
about it.
one.
so I'm gonna mute
But anyway,
everybody.
so about 1:30 tomorrow, you think?
Yep, about
Okay.
1:30.
You said what?
I'll send you a link.
Cameron, you're not muted.
All right, let me go back to the full screen here. All righty. Welcome, everybody. This is New Candidate Town Hall, the final one for the spring semester. What time is it? I see it is 7 o'clock, so we'll jump in and get started. I'll go ahead and share my screen and show you the agenda for the evening. Let me pull this up. And so a quick review of the requirements that you had in your classes this spring, both the 20-month and the 12-month program. All your Blackboard work, your assignments, case studies, your portfolio in terms of adding your artifacts in your separate portfolio, your 2 DRF portfolio evidences were the app cell and the app tail that went in the DRF. Then you had the separate competency folio. And then your clinical hours, and here they are for those for each of the 2 programs. Make sure that you've documented those. Please make sure your principal signs off on these, especially in the spring more than any other time. It's imperative that you have them sign off on this. Believe it or not, you may move, they may move. And we don't want to have to try to rebuild those hours later on. Make sure you get a signature so if somebody new comes in, we don't have to go to them hat in hand and say, well, you signed this for me. And they say, well, I wasn't here. I don't know if you did that or not. If I had a nickel for every time that happened, I'd have a few dollars. So make sure you get your internship time. Now, remembering at the end of this semester, it does not go in your DRF portfolio. It goes in your competency folio and request comments from your coach. So let me go to that. I'm going to walk everybody in as I normally do, going to task stream. All right, sign in. And I'm going to switch to author view. All right, so for the spring 2024 programs, we'll start the 12-month program. This is your DRF portfolio. This is where you upload your app cell and your app tail to get your scores. If you don't know what they are, simply click on the scores results tab up here at the top and it'll tell you what your scores were. But the other requirements in your DRF portfolio this spring were the competency analysis, where after you completed both of your evidences, you went in and marked yourself competent for all 21 of those. And then your dispositional behaviors, you rated yourself on whether you met or exceeded or needed improvement on the expectations as a school administrator. So make sure those 4 things are done this semester. That would be the same for both the 12 and the 20-month program. Now, you said, well, Dale, it says down here at the bottom, internship log. That's for your final logs at the last 2 weeks of your program. Either 2 semesters or 4 semesters from now is when this comes into play. You notice it's not under the requirements for 601. I've always had to send a number back. A couple of you have had to send back 2 times. So that makes me question my intelligence if I had to send them back twice. So now I had to start sending emails as well as send backs in Tastering. Your competency folio is where you would upload this semester's internship log. So remember, it's not embedded here in the DRF portfolio. You have to go separately to folios and web pages up in the top left. Yeah, no, I will submit later, and it will take you, and you'll just have one. And you simply open it up, and down at the bottom, it says internship logs. You simply use the attachment button and upload your log right there, and then request comments from your coach so that they can see that you've got your hours. That's where your internship log goes for this semester. All right. Now, your competencies, this is where you put your artifacts from this semester. Now, if you don't remember where, we have a couple of documents. One is where you'll find your open-ended artifacts, and one is where you'll find your artifacts from the 2 evidences that you did. Make sure you reference those documents and say, oh, yeah, I had to pull up the school improvement plan, or I had to pull up standardized test scores to do my data dive in the app cell. That would be an artifact. Yeah, I presented my plan, my app cell plan to school administration. Somebody took a picture of me doing that. Yes, that would be an artifact for communication. So make sure that you read the directions for each one. But for communication, you need an app cell artifact, a SIOP from your last semester, and an open-ended one from any of the open-ended activities that you did that shows communication, but make sure it's digital. One of them needs to be digital. Now, obviously, they're all going to be digital, but make sure you follow the format here. So there we go. You should have 1 round done from this year because you did 2 evidences. You should have 1 round done. Now you say 1 round. Does that mean 1 for everyone? No, but you can do an open-ended for any of them. But for example, there'll be some of these that there's not an artifact required, like that one. You say, well, I didn't do the OMA or skip, but you could do an open-ended one from this semester. What you don't want to do is come up to your last semester and you're jammed up against time, and you've got, of the 63 artifacts, you've got 3, and you're out hunting stuff from a year ago or longer. So now's the time, while it's still fresh in your mind where everything is located, to upload your artifacts into your folio. All right, so that should be the requirements for the spring semester. So let's get back to our agenda, and we'll talk about your requirements for the summer. But before I do that, before I get a lot of questions, registration for summer is automatic. If you're in the 12-month program, you'll go to Mel 603 with either me or Dr. Kate or Maraglia. If you're in the 20-month program, you'll go to Mel 602 with Dr. Sanders and Dr. Barnes. Now, that registration is automatic. You don't have to fill out a form. You don't have to do anything unless you have an academic hold or an AR hold, accounts receivable. Now, there's no way to know for me if you have either one of those. If you don't have Blackboard shells on May the 15th, that means you've got a hold. Now, just think back when you were admitted to the program. If you came in provisionally or probationally, let me say those 2 terms again, provisionally or probationally. Probation is your grades and scores weren't that good coming in, or provisionally meant that you didn't send them all the stuff that you needed to send them, like previous transcripts or something like that, and you came in either provisionally or probationary. If that's not been cleared, then you will have an academic hold for summer and you won't get registered for your class. You won't know that until Blackboard opens on May 15th. Blackboard shells will be open that day. If you don't have one, then you've got a hold. Now, accounts receivable for privacy issues, I can't know that. But you know, if you hadn't paid your bill to student accounts, that they'll put a hold on you. They won't register you for summer. Now, nothing I can do about that. This is pay for play. So the only reason that you would not be registered for your summer class and have your Blackboard shell on May 15th is if you have an academic or an accounts receivable hold. Otherwise, you will be registered. Summer school starts the week of May the 20th. You may start Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday of that week. My classes start Tuesday and Wednesday. My doc class starts on Monday. It's only 10 weeks. You only have 8 weeks to complete your assignments, though. So please remember that. We do get the week of the 4th off. We will take off the week of July 4th. Otherwise, it's pretty intense. Now, classes will be longer this summer. You can do math. Whereas you had 1 hour class and 1 hour coaching session, for about, what would that be? 15 weeks, 22 and a half, 23 hours. So this summer you will have only 10 classes. You won't have a separate coaching session. So they'll all be 2 hours. So each of your classes this summer will be 2 hours to make up for the number of weeks that will be short and that we don't go but 1 day a week. Going forward, you will only meet class 1 day a week. So in the summer, we go for 2 hours. Now, I adjust my time so that we still finish at 8 o'clock. I go from 6 to 8 in the summer rather than 7 to 9. So I'll go ahead and tell you that if you're going to be with me this summer. Those of you that are in C2 and C4, all of you that are in the 12-month program will be with me this summer. So you'll either be, if your course designation this spring was C2, you'll be on Tuesday night. If it was C4, you'll be on Wednesday night. I do Tuesday night, Wednesday night on this program, 6 to 8. We will have the week of the 4th off. I'll show you my weekly schedule just in a few minutes. All right, so let's look at this. The 603 20-month program, you'll have Dr. Kate and Maraglia. They were with us a minute ago. Dr. Maraglia, y'all teaching on Wednesday night, Dr. Kate?
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, ma'am.
Mel 603 will be Wednesday nights for them. Be Tuesday and Wednesday for me because I split mine into 2. So and even if they lump y'all together like they did this spring and move y'all from 604 to 602 and just have one big class, we'll still be the regular 602s will be Tuesday night. The regulars, 603 C2 section will be Tuesday night, and the C4 section will be Wednesday night. Even if they lump us together and call it one big section of C2, it doesn't matter. We do Tuesday night and we do Wednesday night. Case study night already takes 2 or 3 or 4 hours. We're not going to do an 8-hour night on case study night with 30 people. Not going to happen. So Tuesday night, Wednesday night for me, Wednesday night for them. So for the 20-month people who are going to 602, you will have your Blackboard coursework to include your discussion boards, assignment, evidence, peer reviews, tasks. Now you say, well, we already did the APTEL. Yep. So you can do the OMA this summer. Dr. Dr. Sanders and Dr. Barnes will work with you to get ahead one. The good thing is the pressure is off. You only have one to do this summer, and so they'll work with that one to make sure that you have got that done. You don't have to do any portfolio analysis or dispositions in the summer, and y'all only have to do 9 artifacts in your competency folio, and that's pretty much it for y'all this summer. The 12-month 3-semester program that's going to be with me or Dr. Caton or Dr. Maraglia this summer, 603, you have to do the OMA and the skip. Got 2 evidences again. And you need to do a whole round in your competency folio. And you need to get your internship hours. Everybody needs to get their internship hours as laid out in their plan. So that's what we're going to do. Tuesday night, Wednesday night for me, Wednesday night for Dr. Maraglia and Dr. Caton. And those are the things that you will be due us this summer. These are the textbooks for 602 on the agenda. There's only one now, and here's the two for 603. Need both of them. Now, if you can find the books cheaper, make sure that you opt out of the Bulldog bundle. You're supposed to be opted out automatically, but I wouldn't depend on that. They charge you by a credit hour. So if you get something about the Bulldog bundle, if you want to go on Amazon and purchase these, that's up to you, but make sure you opt out or they'll automatically charge you for them already. So here again are the books for the summer. For those of you in the 20-month program going to 602, that's it right there. And for those of you in the 12-month program going to 603 and joining the other group of 603s that matriculated from 602 this summer, and some of them may be with us tonight, these are the books that you will be using. All right. So that's it. Now, this is kind of what weekly schedules look like after 601. Again, we don't do it. We don't do a separate coaching session. We don't do, gradual release. You do a lot more. So here it looks similar to what you folks had. Blackboard shells the appearance is going to change this summer too, by the way. Let me go here and pull one of them up. Okay. Which one of these says test? No. All right, let me go to the sandbox. All right, this summer, the Gardner Webb is undergoing a transition from one version of Blackboard to another. This version is much more compatible with cell phones for the undergraduates. Not a favorite of us in the graduate programs, but we'll get through it. So this is what your shell will look like this summer. This menu over on the left is fixed. No longer will it categorize your work for you. It's now down the middle, as you see you could use with a cell phone. Let me get this out of the way here so I can see. So this is what your shell will look like. And so this is the actual shell that those of you who will be with me this summer will have. I've got, and both shells will have the information for the Tuesday night and Wednesday night class in them. If you can't make one, you might can come to the other. I have students jump from one to the other all the time. They say, I can't make Tuesday night class. Can I come Wednesday? Certainly, that'd be fine. And here are the links to join. You simply click these and they open up. As you can see, this is designed for something that scrolls. The syllabus is here. Here's the schedule. And as always, you know how we do the schedule. You have your assignments, you have your activities, your reading, and then we track your evidences as well. Let me download that. Make it big enough that you can see it, hopefully. There it is. So that's what your weekly schedule will look like. As you can see, it's 6 to 8, Tuesday or Wednesday, according to which section you're in. Now, for those of you in 603 this summer, please remember 603 is an operations course, law and finance. You'll be doing a lot of coming and going to and froing. What that means is, yes, you have to read your chapters, but that's just for context and clues when you go out and interview and do all these activities that you have to do. You have to locate a copy of your emergency crisis plan, copy of your budget. You have to interview an administrator about the 5 most important steps in the school-based budget. You have to conduct a facilities walkthrough using the assessment inventory that you provide you, because that's a state law. It has to be done twice a month. Interview an administrator concerning human resources. How do we hire people in our district? Interview the chair of your your intervention team, your MTSS team, or and also the chair of your EC department. Examine policies, interview an assistant principal about due process and discipline, field trip policy. I mean, it's a lot of coming and going to and from, and you can see it's over 11 weeks. But again, just, the 7th week, we're out that week for the holiday. But as you can see, we're going to have jam-packed 2-hour sessions. And then, of course, you have 4 case studies as in the normal semester. So that means that those nights, all we do are those case studies. They are long and in depth. But that's what it's going to look like this summer. As I told you, it's 20 hours every week. That never changes. All right, so
Dr. Lamb, as a reminder, in your core shells and under week 14, all of the information for the OMA, how to get started, all of that information is in there. What Dr. Lamb just showed you, you can make hard copies of all that and go ahead and get started on it as we've already shared with students.
yes, you need to look at all those different coming and going, to and fro activities for the summer, and make sure that you kind of plan those out. You know, sometimes you may have to catch some people before they go home in June. I'm betting your EC chair and your intervention, your MTSS chair aren't going to be hanging around past June 15th. So you basically got a month to catch some of these people. Now, if your AP's 10 months, they'll leave June 15th too. Now, your principal will be there all summer until the gong sounds for July. And most principals, the only time you see them in July is their picture on a milk carton. Have you seen this man or woman? Because principals vacate the premises in July. They, you know that you can't take annual leave the days that kids are in the building. And so, they can't take annual leave hardly any time during the year. And they like to back their vacation time up against that week of 4th of July. And so you definitely won't see them until late July, if you see them at all in July. Most of them don't show back up till August 1st. So understanding that you basically got until July 1st to get all this stuff done. Don't depend on having access to anybody in the school building. APs and teachers until June 15th, principals till July 1. That last month, when we're in school and at Gardner Webb, you won't see them.
When will this be available for us, the OMA and stuff?
When will it be available?
May 15th?
Shells go live. They did a partial push in today. Shells will go live. You won't get them until the 15th, but we'll send out the weekly schedules. We'll send those out hopefully by the end of this week if we get them pushed live. We'll attach our weekly schedules.
And start working from there, right?
What you'll have. Do what now?
We can start getting all our ducks in a row and like
Absolutely.
interviews and stuff.
Yeah, that's
okay. And we'll be able to see that through the weekly schedule, correct?
Yep. We'll send
Okay.
you the weekly schedules. We certainly will. We'll try to get those together. As I said, Blackboard is in transition right now. They only got part of the things out today. We're hoping to have them out in the next day or two, everything out, but we have the schedules already. We already know what times and dates, but we'll get those coming and going to and fro activities in 603 out to, we got to do that because
Dr.
they
Lamb,
depend on
also
people
just-
being in the building.
as a reminder, once you have cleared your internship, your internship logs with your clinical coaches and your class instructors, then once you're cleared, everything's cleared and you've got to go, you can start working on your summer hours. And remember, the summer is different than the fall and the spring. You only do 100 hours in the summer, and that's outlined in that document that we provided you with, your clinical internship. So it's 100 hours this summer, and you can go ahead and get started. I would advise you to go ahead and talk with administration. If you've got any summer programs going on your campus, if you can be allowed to be in charge of that, that's great leadership, working with, scheduling and all those kinds of things for the summer. So you need to go ahead and start asking those questions, what can I do this summer?
Yeah. I was in conversation, right here is the schedule. I was in conversation with one of my 603 students this morning about her internship hours. And that's what we were talking about is she's afraid she's not going to be able to get them this summer. I said, you may just have to take a couple of weeks and go over there and stay from 8 to 5 and be sure that you're helping out. And there's a lot of things that happen at the close of school during that countdown where you're doing inventory and you're rechecking the schedule and budgets and you're looking at those hiring sheets, you're looking at your allotments for teachers, all those things, you're reviewing that. But I'm telling you what, the 15th, all 10-month people leave on the 15th of June. And then the 12-month person or 11 or 12, the 11-month person leaves with the 12-month person and don't work July. Because the 12-month, the 11th-month APs are off and the 12-month principal is taking vacation.
Dr. Lamb, also a reminder, scheduling is a big part of the OMA. You
Mhm.
need to go ahead, your principals, they're already working on that because Power School requires them to do some things. Go ahead and ask now, can I be a part of whatever you're doing with scheduling now and to be a part of it during the summer? So you
Mhm.
need to go ahead and ask these questions.
Oh, Dr. Stedman and Dr. Lamb, I have a question. My principal and my assistant principal are currently out on admin leave. So I am the point of contact in the building as far as administrator at this point. And that was effective last Thursday. So then I can start from last Thursday with those responsibilities for the internship law. But then we don't know the fate of their outcome. So at that point, who would sign my internship law?
Whoever told you you were in charge.
Okay. Okay. So that would be like the superintendent.
Mhm.
Okay.
Whoever said tag you're it, that'd be the person that signs your log.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Lamb, the question was asked, we get clinical credits for OMA and SKIP like we did with the, yes, that's, and
Yeah.
those are outlined in that document
Yeah.
that we provided for you. It's outlined for your 3 semesters. Those of you that are 12 months, and it's outlined for the 20 months as well. You've got that document in Blackboard, so yes, you do. It's different in the summertime because, we have to, the hours are differently, but all that's in there for you.
Yeah. Now don't be. I don't see Mr. Ramsey. He was on the earlier meeting that we have. Mr. Ramsey recently, I worked with him for a long time. He's down in the eastern part of North Carolina. And he reminded me recently, we had an intern in Rocky Mount that didn't heed our advice. And so by the time that she got around to trying to get her summer hours, they just put her on the front desk answering the phone. But we can't count those hours. You on the front desk answering the phone. That became kind of quite a point of contention. Is she said, but I was there 8 hours every day, but it's not really an administrative duty to be answering the phone. So, if you're going to do your 2 weeks, do it as soon as school is out. I know some of you have alternative employment or you're doing something else, but you got to get those hours. You got to get some hours this summer. And it can't just be answering the phone.
And the majority are still leadership no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a minimal amount of management that you'll get credit for. It's no different in the summertime than it's been this semester.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and can I just add that it seems like the staff handbook is constantly something that has to be updated and revised and reviewed. And that is another awesome thing you can assist your administrator with in the summer.
mm-hmm.
Because that is something that gets put on the back burner so quickly. And to have someone to assist with that is invaluable.
Yeah.
Student handbook as well.
Right.
Student handbook, faculty handbook, inventories of different kind, state reports that have to go in, where those kinds of things. All the assistant principals are running crazy during that 2 weeks because they want to go home on the 15th, and they'll let you do a lot more than you'll want to. Because they're trying to get out the door on the 15th. It's like they turn into pumpkins at 4 o'clock on the 15th if they're not out of the building. So they'll let you do anything. You get great experience from them. You can join in with what they're doing, and so don't discount the things that the principal has assigned to the AP that you could get a corner of that as well. Sparkle, you got a question?
Yes. Hey, everybody. Question. So we have class Tuesday and Wednesday or just on Wednesday?
No, for me, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday
Yours
and
will be on
Wednesday.
Tuesday, Sparkle. You're in my
Me
class,
too.
so you'll be on Tuesday.
C2's on Tuesday. C4's
Okay.
on Wednesday. Now, if you just let me know, send me an email. If you can't come on one Tuesday, but you can come on Wednesday, let me know. But make sure like if it's case study night with your team, if more than one or two of you are going to be out, then you might get switched to the other night, but the whole team's got to switch. You know, I mean, I had one this past on our last case study. I had one that couldn't come on Tuesday, so their group presented on Wednesday. But you know, I don't know that you want to come and hear me every week, but you know, there's a lot of good that comes in coming to class every week. Keeps you connected. We review the book every week in terms of not the textbook, but I take notes in my class on every piece of work that's turned in. And we talk about, you know, we have the stars of the week, the things that they pointed out, good points. But, you know, assessment drives instruction. If I see that 2 or 3 of you are missing the same thing on an evidence task, then I'll go back and cover it again. But we talk about those activities, what you took away from those things that you're going out and doing. This is an operations course. This is where you learn to actually how to administer a school. You learn the laws and you learn the finance part of it. And you'll find out a lot about why you wonder why your principal do some of the things that they do or don't do. Well, there's a reason why. And we'll break. Now, we're not going to sit and write legal briefs. I've never known a principal to write a legal brief. I'm probably the only one in the history of the world that's ever written a legal brief. We do case studies where, you know, and we have them. One's about protected classes, LGBTQ, but it could be any federally protected class. We got one that, you know, a teacher, you know, manipulating a grading scale. We've got one on finance. We've got one on the inclusion model that touches all 4 of the evidence that you've done up to that time. It's, you know, everything. And so the case studies are real, they're relevant. The whole point is we extend your learning. This semester, you simply virtually gave one another feedback when if you came online. This summer, you're going to learn how to virtually collaborate to create a product. You know, this is an actual real work team where, you know, a lot of our work now is virtual on our teams, but how do you create a product out of that, just other than just people sitting and talking to one another? You have to actually produce a product each of our case study week and then go through that and defend what you found in that product in that PowerPoint. You know, and it does take a while, especially if you're if you're unlucky enough to be the first one that goes each night. I leave a little bit of your blood, but not much. But we have a good time, or at least I do. I'm not sure they do, but they play along. But yes, it's a very involved. 603 is a very involved semester. You're involved with the people in your district. You're involved with the people in your school. You're involved with your classmates. It's an operations. It's a group endeavor in 603, and it's designed to be that way. You'll talk to some people at the central office about hiring, employee assistance. You'll talk to your principal about the budget. You'll talk to AP about what they do to process discipline. Again, you'll talk to your EC coordinator. You'll talk to your MTSS person. You'll learn to learn from people. You'll learn that school is a collaborative endeavor. And that's what we're trying to impress upon you. The overarching theme for your operations semester is you can't do it alone. You have to learn how to move in and out of collaborative groups to get your work done. And if you don't know, now, is Dr. Jordan with us tonight from Durham? I don't see her. She and I argue back and forth. I claim that it was Snoop. She says it was Biggie that said, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Well, that's what school law is all about. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. You have to learn to operate collaboratively so that you don't make a mistake that you can't recover from. If you misspend federal money, you used to work with us. There's no reprieve from that. You don't misspend federal money but one time. You don't violate a kid's due process rights but one time. You get an OCR complaint, it's over for you. I mean, you don't do your regular inspections on your building. A classroom door, the doorknob is broke. A gunman comes in and kills every one of the kids in that room. You don't recover from that. You said, well, Dale, that's crazy. That's exactly what happened at Uvalde, Texas. The last mass shooting that we had, it had been well documented. The doorknob on the classroom had been broken for months and nobody bothered to fix it. The gunman went down the hall twisting doorknobs until he found one that was open, went in and killed every kid in the room. How'd he get in? It's hot in the cafeteria. What do you mean, Dale? It's hot in the cafeteria. It's hot in the cafeteria. What the cafeteria ladies did? They just popped the back door open. Had all the security on the front side of the building, and the door was popped open on the back. He just walked right in. You're going to learn about things like that, unfortunately, how to keep your kids safe. You're going to hear stories like when I went down below Siler City to this new impregnable middle school that nobody could get in to harm a kid, and all the kids were standing out in the front yard. They were protecting the building, but that wasn't the point, I didn't think. And I told them I could have shot everyone you had and been on the interstate in 2 minutes. Could have shot from the passenger seat of my vehicle, all my brass would have fell in the back seat and I'd have been gone. You had 400 kids within 20 feet of the driveway. No fence, no barrier, no nothing. But the building was safe. Nobody could get in it. Well, they're not coming to get in the building. They're coming to harm your kids. I was high school principal during both Columbine and Jonesboro, which started the modern era of schooling, by the way. And when they couldn't get in the building at Jonesboro, they simply called in a bomb threat. When the kids all came out to the ball field, they shot them out there. So that's the kind of thing that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about budgets, not accounting, not purchasing, but budgets, how to plan, how your master schedules and your budget supports your school improvement plan, how to build a legal master schedule. Pretty involved, lot to that, but it's an operational course, but it teaches you the value of collaborative work, of teamwork, that it takes a team effort to run a school and a school district. And if you don't know, you can ask, and who to go and ask, and how to get this information. It gets you out there. People recognize you. They see you as an intern. You get on the radar for a job by doing these things, because you can blame me. He made us come do this. But it gets you in front and center of the people in your district and gets you on the radar. I'm guessing that most of you got this program to get a job down the road. You just do this because you wanted to hear me tell stories, I suspect. And the way that you get on people's radar is that they see you and they know you. They know who you are. So you'll get a lot of that opportunity. Those of you in 602 this summer, you'll work on your research, and it will be school-based research. And again, you're going to need some people there to help you. So make sure when we get you that weekly schedule, that if you see things that you need to collect data on before they leave, that you get that data collected. All right. Other questions that you have? Dr. Stone, you have anything?
No, I'll just golden opportunity for those of you in a little bit later on when you finish up the master's program. Gardner Webb offers a doctoral program in leadership and in curriculum, and we'd love to talk to you about that at some point. And at some point, I'll be teaching 605 this summer, so I am sure some of our paths will cross again, and I look forward to that. Dr. Lamb has been teaching me as much as he can about the Males program and the Masters of School Administration, and all of your instructors have bragged about you a lot. So I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to get to know you better. Yeah. But if you ever want to think about that doctorate, hey, we got a program for you. Love to talk to you about it anytime.
All righty. I'm just checking here to make sure we've answered everything that's here. We're a little, we're good, okay, on time. We've had some questions. Anybody else have anything? I want to publicly thank the faculty that have worked with you this semester. They've done a really good job. We just came out of a faculty meeting, and they were so boastful of how well that y'all had all done this semester. I think Dr. Hamilton said it's had some of the best students that she'd ever had. And I think Dr. Stedman said the same thing. Now he said. He says that every semester, but Dr. Hamilton doesn't. So, but no, they've been very.
But I tell the truth.
Yeah. But no, he wouldn't say it if it weren't true. But we've had a lot of quality students this semester, and we're very thankful for that. And I'll kind of close out with Dr. Stone is correct. We actually have a a leadership doctorate, that leads to the superintendent certification, and we have a curriculum instruction specialist, EDCI, that leads to obviously a doctor in curriculum instruction and certification as a specialist in that area. Those two programs mirror this one in terms of evidences, but they're central office based. They're 2 years of full-time coursework, including summers, and then you go to dissertation phase. Both of those programs are quality programs. You'll see some of the same faces over there. You won't have the same instructors, but you'll see some of the same faces. And so we're recruiting now for cohorts for the fall, understanding that our doctoral programs they are hybrid. They are what is known as low residency. They are not online only. There are some online only doctoral programs out there. We do not have them. Ours are low residency model. So what that would mean is, according to what part of the state you live in, and if we have a center near you, 3 weekends every semester, 3 weekends each semester, you have to come to class. Saturday all day, mid-afternoon on Sunday. We'll let you go reasonable time. Unless you're in Charlotte with me, and then I'll let you go earlier. As soon as the ball game traffic stops, I'll let you go. So we can get home and not be next day, get that. We avoid ball game traffic in Charlotte. But other than that, we're pretty good. So we have actual face-to-face sites in Charlotte and on the main campus, one in Davidson County at Davidson-Davie Community College. We're in Goldsboro right now at Wayne Community College. Now, we have been some other places along the way. We don't currently have one in Fayetteville. We have had one there. We have had one in Raleigh, but we aren't currently there. We're currently in Davidson-Davie, Wayne, main campus in Bowling Springs, and in the Charlotte campus.
And Dale, Dr. Lamb, I'll put my email address in there. If anybody wants some more information about it, I can do a great commercial for you. I didn't want to take much of your time, but we would love to talk to you about it.
Yeah. But please remember that basically the way that the doctoral program works is you go 3 weekends of semester, and then you have a virtual class via Zoom every other week. Is the way that works out. So you won't be on Zoom every week. You'll be on Zoom every other week, but then you'll have those 3 weekends where you show up and physically be in the room with your colleagues.
And it is on a district focus, whereas in the master's program, you work on the school level. This is the focus will be on the district and preparing you for district leadership.
And so your evidences will be district-based rather than school-based, but they'll be very similar to what you're doing now, but just at the district level. But the beauty is you'll already know how to use the task and prompt system. You'll know how to write an APA. And so the coursework goes fairly easy if you come through this program. It dovetails right in. So for K-12 people, we have 2 viable options for you. So we hope that you can continue. And I'll conclude with, I've never seen a time. Sarah Bowles called me this afternoon on the way home. She's just finished the MSA and has just started the doctoral program with us in LS. And I have never seen a time where there's more opportunity for people who want to get into school administration than now. There are jobs everywhere. A lot of people got caught up in this because of COVID, got caught up in this quality of life business, and they're mistaking quality of life with laziness. And school business, you got to work, you got to get after it, you got to catch another gear. And they're not willing to do that anymore. They think that's quality of life, but I don't think that's what that really is, laying up on the couch. I don't think that's quality of life. And so, but the good thing is, that's opened up a lot of opportunities for people who are emerging, who want to get into it. A lot of opportunities. And so, if you can go. That's what I say. When you're in school mode, stay. Because the further you get out of it, the harder it is to get back in. So we'd love to talk to you about coming back with us in the fall. For those of you who are in, or in the spring, those of you who will be finishing up fall or spring, we'd love to talk to you. We do take cohorts in both the fall and spring. All right. Anybody else have anything for the good of the group? Again, I want to thank the faculty. I see Dr. Nutting, I've seen Dr. Sanders, Dr. Crawford's with us tonight, Dr. Stedman, I saw Dr. Revis, Dr. Stone. I saw Dr. Talent, who works with us. I see Dr. Caton, there's Dr. Maraglia. These people don't have to come. I don't pay them a penny more to come to these. They're coming because they care about you and they're interested in your future, as we all are. And we, as always, thank you for choosing Garden Web, and we appreciate you. Give yourself a hand. All right. I will see you probably beginning of summer school. We'll get those weekly schedules out this week. So everybody have a good summer. If I don't see you again soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Have a good day.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good night.